Okay, we can start, Professor.
So over to you for opening.
Yes. Hi there. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vanan. I'm from FIK International Kuala Lumpur. So this is our second masterclass session. Yesterday, Professor Demon presented on the resilience, operational risk and resilience for financial institution. And today, also in our session on managing the invisible threat, a glimpse into third-party risk management in our session. And yesterday's session was quite interactive. Hopefully that you all can participate as well in this session. And Professor Demon, you can take off. Before that, both of us, Professor Demon, FIK, been working on this particular session for the past since December, so means almost 7 months now. So thank you, Professor Damon, for running today's session as well, and also for yesterday's session. Okay, it's all to you, Professor. You can take off.
Great. Thank you very much. And good afternoon, everyone, once again. Welcome to this master class, which is on a topic called TPRM in short, third party risk management. And sadly, this has not been paid enough attention yet in the world, despite there being cases of failures and despite many standards, many regulations expecting organizations to work on this. While yesterday's session was operational resilience, operational risk management with focus on financial institutions, within that also there would be a link to third-party risk management. I had said that in yesterday's masterclass. Otherwise, the topic TPRM, third-party risk management, is the need for all organizations, whether small, medium, complex, government or public, PSU, or research, or NGO, universities, colleges, etc., anywhere in the world. All companies need this. So companies in Malaysia need this. It's a very serious issue. It's a big issue, big topic. 1 hour masterclass cannot do good justice to this. But because we wanted to plan 1 hour first, we kept it like that. So it's going to be very quick, fast-paced, intense session. More intense than yesterday, I can tell you, if some of you had attended yesterday also. Quickly about myself, I've spent about 4 decades in the industry. About 2 decades in this domain, which is close to TPRM. We call it business continuity, risk, resilience, crisis. That's all that I do know now for about 2 decades. I've been across companies, countries, industry sectors. Next month will be first visit to Malaysia. While I know a lot, but I'm willing to learn a lot more about the country. In different roles also. I have been a practitioner first, which means I've dirtied my hands first and then into the domain training and consulting. I won national and global awards multiple times. I'm into the BCI Hall of Fame. So I have played different roles: practitioner, trainer, consultant, auditor, author, speaker, tester. Huge experience of dealing with the top managements of the companies through a session called Crisis Management Simulation for them. I've published 10 books so far, which are available globally. The latest being my experiments with third-party risk management. And that's where I realized the importance and depth and coverage seriousness of the topic. And that's when I decided to develop a course also, which we'll talk about towards end of the session. The third-party logistics industry is estimated to be $1.21 trillion 2 years ago. This is 2023 figure. And also third-party risk management market at $4.45 billion 4 years ago. So again, this might have increased. Quickly, let's look at some definitions. Third party is an organization, a company that has entered into business relationships or contracts with a company, with another company, to provide products, services, processes, activities, or business functions, whether in whole or in part. And this definition is from Bank of England, valid across, once again, I will say. While you may find people in the world who would argue whether there is any third party or who are the third parties, I go up to the extent of saying that actually there is no customer vendor relationship. The customer, your customer, is your third party, or your customer is vendor to you. They provide supply business to you. And I would like you to take this that seriously. Customer relationship, vendor relationship, third party relationship. Quickly, the first interaction, your hands on keyboards. Question is, do you have something outsourced in your organization? I'm looking at the chat box. Please say yes, no. First answer, very quick, great. And anyone who says no, Daman, we have not outsourced anything. So I'm once again looking at more towards no's rather than yeses. Yes is easy, simple, we can assume. Anyone who says, we in my company organization have not done any outsourcing. So we take yes for all, which means we all have third parties, a vendor, a supplier. Sometimes these two are used interchangeably. A vendor, supplier, partner. Partner is a little different from vendor or supplier. Service provider, all put together. Even your regulator is a third party. The government is a third party. The public of the country, citizens of the country, they are your third parties. So any external entity that provides products, services, or support to an organization, including vendors, suppliers, contractors, partners, I've said a little more than that. A risk, because we are talking of third-party risk management, so I wanted to quickly touch upon this. According to ISO 31000, as simple as the effect of uncertainty on objectives. We all have some objectives in personal lives, in official lives. And there is always uncertainty which could impact our objective. That's risk. So risk management is defined as the coordinated activities to direct and control an organization regarding risk. In the simplest way, we say there are 3 steps in risk management: identify, evaluate, and mitigate. When we expand this, we can go deeper. There has to be monitoring, reporting, and actually very important step, which organizations keep missing. Through mitigation, some controls are put in place and we forget. These controls will weaken over time. So even if you take an example quickly, simple example, that there is a pipe through which steam goes through at high pressure. So there is always a valve to release excess pressure. And this valve may go wrong over a period. Its effectiveness goes down, its strength goes down, wear and tear happens, maybe some rusting happens. All machines, all equipment will rot. Rot means that they will go a little down in their efficiency. There'll be some wear and tear. So its effectiveness goes down, and checking the effectiveness of the controls on a regular basis is one part, very important part of risk management, which I keep saying based on my experience, having been across companies, countries, industries in different roles, including as an auditor also, I find a gap here or area of improvement, big improvements required. So TPRM or third party risk management has been defined as the process of identifying, assessing, and mitigating. So thus three steps: identify, evaluate, or assess and mitigate. Risks associated with external vendors, suppliers, and service providers, all put together with your third parties. But there is a fourth party also in the world, a subcontractor or external entity engaged by a third party that indirectly affects an organization. Vendor third party risk, so whatever risk your vendors or third parties have. Supply chain risks, these are similar, but if you go deep, when we start spending time, money, effort in this field, we'll find there are some differences. So the supply chain risk is the exposure to vulnerabilities arising from dependencies on external suppliers, logistics providers, manufacturers, etc. And there is operational risk. Yesterday we were discussing this. Operational risk, operational resilience, TPRM go hand in hand. The risk of loss due to failed processes, systems, people, or external events, including third party failures, are operational risks. If your third party fails, your operations may fail, will fail. Your operational efficiency will go down. Cybersecurity risk, all of us have that. And yesterday we were discussing no one is immune to this. The risk of data breaches, cyber attacks, or unauthorized access due to vulnerabilities, including third party systems. Once again, some third parties may have access to your systems and they may bring in the risk challenges, or some third parties providing services to you, products or services to you, may have their own systems which may be weak, which may be compromised. And then they get impacted, you get impacted. Compliance risk, whoever it is, wherever, whichever country, whichever industry sector, there are some regulatory requirements, at least some. Even if there is no specific industry specific regulation, there will be some general regulation of the country. We need to be compliant to those. Otherwise, that becomes a risk. We discussed this yesterday also. The potential for legal or regulatory violations, including resulting from third party non compliance. I make a statement. Outsourcing is good. There's no doubt about it. But it has its own challenges. It comes with some risks. So what I say is when you outsource, you do not outsource your headache. Your company, your business is still your responsibility. So you will not be able to say that the vendor has failed on compliance. Because of them, if you fail, it's still your responsibility. A reputational risk, potential damages to an organization's brand, again, repeatedly, everything internal as well as external, including due to third party actions or failures, and financial risk as well. The exposure to financial losses, including due to third party insolvency, fraud, or financial instability. If frauds can happen in your company, we all agreed to that in yesterday's masterclass. That means that can happen, frauds can happen to your vendors and your third parties also. I'll touch upon fourth, fifth, sixth party little later. Then the ESG risk, which is environmental, social, and governance risk. The whole world is paying a lot of attention to this. There have been cases, for example, a big brand in the UK, Marks and Spencer, sourcing from countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc. But they were found to be following, some of their vendors were found to be following unethical labor practices, including child labor, for example. Or it could be environmental violations or governance failures. Concentration risk, the dependency on a single or limited number of third parties. Immediately, an action I will give to you all is whether you are responsible for this area or not, but you are interested, that's why you are in this masterclass. Go back and whoever is the responsible person in your company, please ask them, do we have a list of vendors? First of all, trust me, you may struggle. Is it up to date? That may be a bigger struggle. And how many are there? And are we in touch with them, and at what frequency, etc., etc.? What questions do we ask them? Or are they a single point of failure for us? Working with one of the biggest global banks in UK on their operational resilience program, in one of the tests, it came out that when you buy some item using your credit card owned by that bank, it's a very complex back-end process. It's not just the shop where you are swiping the card and the bank. Many other entities come into picture in between. One of those entities, very small entity in the whole game, otherwise, was a single point of failure for them. And this business has been going on for 50 years at least. No one realized it, no one admitted. And that's one of the biggest risks. I touched upon this in yesterday's masterclass also. That knowing risk is good, but we know and we don't tell, we don't raise, that is bad. And we do that. That's the biggest risk. And there may be geopolitical risks also. The world today is perhaps a great example of this, especially what is happening in the other part of the world, not necessarily in this part of the world where you and I are currently. Third party risk assessment is defined as the evaluation of risks associated with engaging a third party. Biggest risk is your third parties are your insiders and insider risks, just like your employees. These are eye openers. Considering financial, operational, security, and compliance factors. And third party life cycle management. Going forward, I'll be touching upon 3 or 4 life cycles, and third party life cycle management is one of those. This is third party life cycle management, and there is third party risk management life cycle also. Quickly moving from definitions to some other discussion. Identification, assessment, and control of risks that arise from an organization's relationship with external entities, which may be vendors, suppliers, service providers, contractors, partners, regulators, and citizens also. And the aim is to ensure that these relationships do not expose the organization to unacceptable levels of risk. The moment we say unacceptable levels of risk, that means there is an admittance here that there are some acceptable risks. There are some acceptable levels of risk, which is known as risk appetite and risk tolerance also. Why is it important? How does this help? Some discussions towards that. Looking at the time also, I'll attempt that today we finish in time. By managing third-party risks, organizations can avoid disruptions, financial losses, and legal penalties. They may be, they may not be. legal penalties, but there will be some other losses, financial, reputational, and ultimately all impacts will result into financial. By losing reputation, I may lose customers, which means I'm impacted financially. TPRM or third party risk management is essential in protecting the organization from vulnerabilities that may arise through these external relationships that we all have today. Quick look at the history. In the late 20th century, increased outsourcing, financial and operational stability of third parties because we started outsourcing more, so our dependencies increased. Early 2000s supply chain disruptions happened. These exposed the risk of weak third party oversight. And the great example of 2008 financial crisis, regulatory reforms for better supply chain visibility and resilience started there. Around first decade, digital transformation started happening, which brought new risks within the organization as well as outside the organization. So with the third parties also. And I'm repeating, some of your third parties may have direct access to your systems, then that's a risk. But even if the type of product or services they provide to you, which doesn't need access, direct access to your systems, they would have their own system. All organizations are highly, heavily dependent on IT these days. Then multiple attacks have happened. I'm just naming in this masterclass due to limited time we have, else we go deep into this and the full 3 days course that we have. Wells Fargo scandal, Fukushima earthquake, and then data breach, Equifax data breach. This one is very famous. SolarWinds attack of 2020 going up to 2021 emergent biosolution. And this continues even up to 2025. Okta breach 2022, CrowdStrike incident towards the end of 2024. Classic case, I will say. We discuss a lot about this based on this, the learnings based on this in the detailed course. Chat GPT failure. It could be any other AI agent, but this particular is in 2025. Chat GPT failed once. Heathrow Airport shut down this year, and NPCI in India. This is the National Payment Gateway, which India actually is number one in the world with respect to number of transactions and number of money involved. That went down in 2025. All these were because of third parties, not the organization itself. So based on this, lot more focus on this area. Quick look at the benefits. If you start spending time, money, effort on your third party risk management, what do you get? So this is a sales pitch for internal purposes. If you have to sell this to your top management or to your board, this is what you will say use. Enhanced operational resilience, financial protection, regulatory compliance, reputation and brand protection, improved strategic decision making. What shall we outsource? What shall we not? What shall we keep in-house or what shall we bring back into the organization? Enhanced security and data protection. Very important point these days across globe. Security, data protection, personal data, personal identification, and there have been so many leaks, data leaks, etc. in the world, even up to the last month, we will be able to recollect. We build stronger relationships with third parties. Almost all organizations say the one our third parties are not our vendors. Our vendors are our partners. It's very easy to say. Do we actually mean that? If we, then we need to spend more effort in TPRM, on TPRM. Then we will have stronger relationships with our vendors, third parties, etc. Risk mitigation and contingency planning. When we do the assessment, we once again know what is concern for us where we should make investments this year, next year. It could be 3 to 5 years strategy that is in line with your 3 to 5 years business strategy also. And the whole world needs to work on sustainability and corporate responsibility, which is supported, both of these are supported by third party risk management. Kind of repetition, but I'm still happy, wanted to show this slide once again. What are the types of risks that we have to manage when we get associated with a third party? So it may be their operation, their compliance, their finance, their strategy, their reputation, their cybersecurity, their environmental, social, and governance activities, which could impact us in the same way. It may be my operations or my compliance, my financial, strategic, reputation, cybersecurity, or ESG that gets impacted because of one of these risks happening, taking place with one of my third parties. Quick look at little expansion of what are these risks specifically. Supply chain failures, delays, etc., will be falling into the bucket or basket of operational risks. They may arise from day to day failures, such as a key supplier not delivering on time, which can disrupt production and result in significant financial losses. Compliance risks, third parties violating legal standards, including, as I had said, those with respect to ethics, responsible sourcing, and it may be GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation of the EU. The moment I say EU, 5 years ago when this came into picture, I also thought that that means it's for the European Union, those countries. I'm in India. My clients are in the rest of the world. Those will not be impacted. This is not applicable to them. But that was a wrong understanding or impression, got corrected as we went deep into this. You all may be impacted by GDPR, if not directly, then indirectly. The organization may incur legal penalties and suffer reputational damage. There may be financial risks. For example, vendor goes bankrupt. So financial risk involves the possibility that a third party may face economic instability or bankruptcy, which can directly affect the organization's operations and financial performance. Mismatched business goals and public image damage will fall into this bucket called strategic and reputational risks. Data breaches and system vulnerabilities will fall into the bucket called cybersecurity risks. And the last one is ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance. Ethical sourcing, sustainability. Whatever your vendors, third parties are doing for environment, for managing their carbon footprint, for energy efficiency, gets linked with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations also. So it's become so deep. As I said, some people in the world may say that there is no third party, or there is third party, but what is third party? Vendors. Easy. But vendors, suppliers, contractors, service providers, partners, I say even customer, regulators, the citizens of Malaysia, all are your third parties. So you need to identify, very easy to say, where people fail is organizations fail is that this is not documented. So when I wear my auditor's hat, I need to see the evidence. Don't tell me, show me, please. And also, I'll keep going deep. How did you identify these third parties? And so what? So actually, there is another topic. I need 1 hour for that masterclass also, and I'm happy. I request one and two organize that some other day. Interested parties, management, cycle, my copyright. So vendors Third parties are also one of the interested parties for you. Once you have identified, which is a big challenge, I'm saying, but then what? So what? What do you do with this information? You need to know your needs and expectations with your third parties. Now, needs are easy portion. You might have written contracts. You might have issued RFPs in which needs are expressed. But expectations remain in heart and in head. We need to get this out. That's a capability, special capability. And again, those to be documented. Then what? You need to draw plans to fulfill those needs and expectations. And over a period, keep looking at whether you are fulfilling those needs and expectations with the third parties, your interested parties. We need to be able to do this mapping also. So, who are your interested parties? What do they do for you? And out of that, who are material third parties? So, yesterday, when we were looking at operational resilience, the ability to recover or to continue the basic minimum, only the critical functions. You may recollect, some of you were present in yesterday's masterclass also. So, similarly, clients tell me, Daman, we have 500, hundreds of vendors, which are only one type of third party. But still, let's say vendors. Can you see the list? And it takes a lot of effort to even see that list. Some say thousands also. So our focus, once again, will be not all, but the important ones, critical ones, and the term used is material ones. Who are material to us? And there's a way of finding this. When I started going deep into this while writing the book about 2 years ago, I found that this was not available, not understood, not used. Materiality assessment and substitutivity assessment with respect to your vendors or third parties. A lot of focus on this because of so many regulations, guidelines, frameworks. I'm just listing these to impress that this is the need of the hour. So important, so serious. So GDPR, CCPA, CPRA, SOX. Some of these are local. Actually, in US, first two are local to two states also for California. Just for one, California has two such laws which touch upon your third parties. Some are valid across globe. HIPAA, NIST, while this again is from US, but almost the whole world uses NIST framework for cybersecurity. Basel Committee, we had a lot of discussion towards that because this focus is from operational resilience portion for the financial sector. But the concepts of operational risk, operational resilience, third-party risk management are common for all companies in all countries. Basel principles, Federal Reserve System, DORA is Digital Operational Resilience Act of EU once again, Bank of England's Operational Resilience Policy, Central Bank of Ireland's Guidance on Operational Resilience, RBI, the regulator in the country in India, has also issued a guidance note. Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, similar guidance. Hong Kong Monetary Authority, similar guidance. While these are operational resilience, but one of the main pillars in operational resilience is third-party risk management. So if we do not do good management of third-party risks, we won't be compliant to all these or any of these that we need to follow. Dubai also has. So this way, my own study is about 20 such mandates and in 20 countries which touch upon third-party risk management. And there are some standards. ISO 31000 wants, COSO wants, NIST wants us to work on third-party risks. 22301 is about business continuity. 27,001 for information security, 9,001 for quality management, all want us to work on third-party risk management. So all these are drivers behind this. Why should we do? If someone asks this question, and going up to ISO 28000, as I said, I will be touching upon some cycles. There are many in the world of third-party risk management. Today in this masterclass, I'm just displaying these. So first one that comes up is third-party management life cycle, not third-party risk management cycle. That'll come later. So starting from sourcing and selection, your third parties, materiality assessment, which I said was a big gap. Now I have defined it and simplified it. Intake and onboarding, just like onboarding of your new employees, onboarding of your third parties. Inherent risk scoring, risk assessment and remediation, contract negotiation and approval. Once you have approved a vendor, a third party, number seven is ongoing monitoring and management, risk management, internal audits and compliance checks, and someday either natural or forced termination also. So this is third party management life cycle. Quick look. Materiality assessment. When you want to find which vendor, which third party is material to you. This is what that is identifies which third parties are critical based on their potential impact on operations. It's difficult, complex. So today I'm just sharing the concept, but in the book and in the course, we do exercises. I have developed tools which are available to all who attend those trainings, live working tools which are copyrighted to me, but will be available to you all. It helps determine which third parties require more rigorous oversight due to their strategic importance to your business. And it may mean higher payments and better payments terms for them because they are material, they are important, they are critical. And critical third parties may have other special considerations. Second very important term, huge gap in the world, no one would know. Just used. And again, I'm saying this based on being in that operational resilience management group of the biggest, one of the biggest banks, global banks in the world, headquartered in UK. Substitutability. If you find one vendor is not good, is not performing according to your needs, expectations, you want to substitute. So first is whether you can substitute this or not. And second is the other one, which is coming new, whether they can substitute this one or not. That's what substitutability assessment for third parties is. So this evaluates the ease of replacing a third party based on the availability of alternatives, switching cost, and potential disruptions. This assesses the time and resources required to transition. It's not switch off, switch on like the light bulb or the water tap, switch off or switch on or volume of your TV or remote or the speed of your fan. In the past, we used to have these movable buttons. Today, it may be a remote control from normal switches. We have moved to digital switches, perhaps, but the concept remains same. So it's not easy switch off, switch on. Transition time, transition resources, a big budget may be required if you want to replace a third party. This helps in risk mitigation planning by identifying backup third parties or contingency measures if a critical third party fails to deliver. This is due diligence cycle for third party. Once again, 9 steps starting from left, going clockwise. Background checks are to be performed, just like on your employees. You need to conduct these for your incoming third parties also. Security assessment, BCM, and operational resilience assessment of your third parties, how good they are on BCM and operational resilience. TPRM assessment, your third parties, ESG program practices assessment, compliance check, site visits, reference checks. Again, just like for your employees, you will conduct reference checks for your third parties also, and sample quality checks, whether they are able to provide the services, products, material according to your needs, the specifications that you have written. Onboarding itself, which was one of the steps in the previous cycle, gets exploded. How to onboard. And I keep saying, just like your employees, both are insider risks, your employees as well as your third parties. Both need to be taken care of in onboarding as well as offboarding. Starting from the top in the clockwise direction now. 6 steps: contract negotiation, finalization, integration into internal systems. Sometimes two systems need to talk. Your third parties may get access to your systems, but not directly. You may have to make some changes. Some integration may be required. Then communication and collaboration protocols. Moving on to performance monitoring and reporting, it's a regular practice. Just like your employees, once again, you need to look at your performance, their rewards and recognition plans, processes by HR. So you need to have similar activities for your third parties also. Then compliance and regulatory adherence and continual improvement feedback. This PDCA cycle of plan, do, check, and act cycle of continual improvement has to be used in life everywhere. So in third party risk management also. Contract is very important when you want to manage risks with your third parties. I request your attention, draw your attention, link given here. You can take pictures, you can ask me separately, or the recording will be available later. You can play again and find this link. My YouTube channel, episode 85, I covered A to Z of contractor contracts, and contractors are one of the third parties. You could say this is third party contracts, A to Z. So much to be done in a contract with the contractors or third parties. If I share with you my experiences, out of those 26, not even 10 are generally done, followed by companies, which means we are weak on third party risk management. We are exposed to some vulnerabilities. Well, the fact is that no one is foolproof, fail proof. Whether risk management, TPRM, third party risk management, business continuity management, operational resilience, operational risk management, no one makes you fail-proof, foolproof, but you will be better than what you were in the past. And we need to be better than what we were in the past. That's the approach that we need to take. This is also a cultural change. We touched upon cultural change in yesterday's masterclass also. The TPRM also needs a cultural change, mindset change. We, our own organizations, as well as our vendor suppliers, third parties organizations, they need to have a mindset change. And that means there will be a lot of training and awareness requirements in this journey. And this is third party risk management cycle, most likely the last one that I will touch upon this afternoon in this masterclass. Again, starting from the top, moving clockwise, identifying risks, risk assessment and prioritization, mitigation and control measures. So first three, as simple as that. In any risk management, this will be the cycle. Identify, evaluate, and mitigate. Then contractual safeguards. So A to Z of third-party contracts needs to be linked into continual monitoring, incident response, and remediation. Incident happening at your third parties. They should report to you, and they may not. That's right. This needs to be written. One of the points in A to Z will be in the contracts with your third parties. Contractually, you will ask them to report incidents to you because you are dependent on them. As simple as that. So when I start my business continuity management implementation consulting with any organization, on day one, I give them a draft. Please write this communication to your vendors. Simple. We have started BCM. We are dependent on you. Please tell us what is your status on BCM. Whether you have policy, just policy, whether you have plans also, whether this is a structured running program, whether you are certified to ISO 22301, etc., etc., or it's all blank. That's possible, but I just want to know. This is the first step I'm doing with my vendors, even in BCM. Sadly, clients don't take it serious. They don't take action. Even if someone has written, then rarely any vendor responds, and we still keep quiet and we don't take next action. That needs to improve upon that. Responsible sourcing is very important. I've said a little bit already. Two more points. Responsible sourcing involves ensuring that third parties adhere to ethical and sustainable practices. We know there have been cases, as I said, one name, Marks and Spencer from UK, for example, but there are many organizations, many cases. The approach emphasizes environmental, social, and governance factors in third party selection. So, at the time of selection itself, due diligence, even before that, perhaps pre qualification, I'll put these conditions. I want to know about your actions, plans, and outcomes in these areas. Then only I talk to you as a third party, coming up third party. Otherwise, I don't even want to consider you. No discussion today can be complete without a discussion on AI. AI is good and AI has its own challenges, so we need to understand both. AI can be used, should be used, must be used even in third-party risk management. So this enhances risk assessment by automating data analysis and offering predictive insights. So from a reactive, we become or we attempt to become proactive. That's good. Benefits include increased efficiency, real-time monitoring, and improved accuracy in risk evaluations. Well, coming to the end of this masterclass, I have touched upon third-party risk management, some concepts. When I say some, perhaps even less than 25%, to be honest with you all. And you may say, so, but then, Professor, what's next? So this is what, with the help of FIK and Warren sitting here in this session, I'm attempting to show the next steps also. That there is a 3 days course that has been designed, developed by me, to be delivered by me, certified third-party risk management specialist course. So it's a specialist level course. It's 3 days duration. If I quickly talk about the key features, duration 3 days, repeating. This course is 100% HRD Corp approved for in Malaysia. This course is also approved by CPD UK. So the quality checks, etc., have been done just like the course yesterday we discussed. That also, because of CPD stamp, CPD certification ensures the quality of the course, instructor, trainer, etc. I'm repeating, I will be the trainer myself. I'm planning to visit Malaysia 25th to 27th. This course on third-party risk management to be delivered in person. So I'm looking forward to see you all there. Participants receive 24 CPDs. So these two master classes being 1 hour, you all will be receiving a certificate for 1 CPD. From the courses, both courses, 3 days course, 24 CPDs are available to you. A certificate issued by FIK and DVD Training and Consultancy, which is my organization, and double certification issued by CPD UK. Also, highly interactive. There is a slide package, the courseware, but that is a guiding principle only. I won't go by those slides. Guiding only. The rest will be all interaction through questions, discussions. We'll use AI also in between. There are 17 chapters, 7 exercises to be done live in the classroom, 17 quizzes, 11 world-class case studies to support this. 4 working tools, as I said, copyrighted to me, but I wouldn't say it's a big claim. I'm saying not available in the world. Freely available to you all when you participate in this class, in this course. 3 sample policies available to you if you want to make use of in your organization. And these 3 within the third-party risk management space, I would say. A lot of discussion, examples, questions. I will ask questions, you answer questions. You ask questions and I will attempt to answer those questions. Number of cases and examples to be taken. 3 days would fall short, I'm telling you. It'll be so much. Tons of additional reading material before and after the course I will supply to you, I'll provide to you, and all participants will get my book, My Experiments with Third-Party Risk Management, free, personally signed for you by me in your presence, handed over to you with pride and life support. Please feel free to write to me at any time. I look at my mails and guarantee a response in 24 hours to the best of my capabilities. Would like to ask a question here, and my request is please type in the chat box once again. What are the responses? Only one question to end, which is feedback also, which is poll also. Were these discussions useful? That's the question. Your options are yes, thanks, and send me the information about the course. Or you may like to say yes, thanks, keep me posted about your next activities. We wouldn't mind see either, but keep me posted about your next activities. And I'm repeating with FIK, with one, I'm planning to do a lot of activities continuously in Malaysia now onwards. So your responses could be just ABC, no need to type full option. I'm looking at the chat box. Please move your fingers for the last time in this masterclass. Were these discussions useful? Your response A, B, or C? Thanks, Shyam. First response has come in. Thank you. And we'll consider all these inputs. Just few more seconds. Thank you very much once again for this response to the poll. And then, sorry about this. Thanks for sparing time to be part of this masterclass once again. I will hand it over back to one. If there are any questions, I'm here. I'll be happy to respond to all questions, or please feel free to write questions to him or to me directly even after the session. I'll be happy to respond to all questions. Thank you very much, and back to you, Wadan.
Yes, hi there. Thank you, Professor, for the presentation. Very condensed and impactful. So I've given my contact number, and also I can send you the workshop detail. As Professor has mentioned, it's 100% HRD COP claimable. We can send you the information. It's wanan@fikintl.com, and my contact number is 012 21 Okay, once again, thank you very much for attending this session. Professor, thank you for presenting, and looking forward to meeting you in Kuala Lumpur.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
I'm
Manoj.
looking forward to see you all. Repeating once again before we log off, learning and sharing is forever. I believe in this and I live to this. I learn every day. No one is perfect in this world, but continual improvement is required. Even if you look at the general scenario in the industry, in the world, this reskilling, upskilling is required. WEF, World Economic Forum, every year publishes a report. One is Global Risk Report, that is very helpful to all of us, whichever field we are in. And another is the Future of Jobs report. And almost last 3 years, ever since I started following, both reports are available to you, all freely downloadable if you want. When I analyze these reports and future of jobs reports specifically, reskilling, upskilling is the message. So let's keep learning, sharing, get connected with me on LinkedIn. I never say no to any connection requests as long as there is a photo in the profile. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you.
As a host,
Thank you,
I'll
Mr.
be the
Daman.
last one. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
I will
Thank
be the
you.
last one to log out. I'm waiting for my guests to leave first. Thank you very much. Thanks, Vanandan. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
I'll share
Take
the
care.
recording
Bye-bye.
link for this one also, and you
Yep.
can publish to the whole world. Do as
Okay,
much
wonderful.
publicity as. Thank you.
Wonderful,
Bye-bye.
Professor. Thank you very much. Take care
Bye-bye.
then. Bye.